Chapter 1. The Breaking Point. Nancy was 72 years old. She lived in California. Her husband was Edward. He was 75. They had been married for 30 years. From outside, people thought they were happy. From inside, it was different. Edward had worked all his life. He built a big business. He gave Nancy money, clothes, and care. He loved her. He never let her feel pain. But now the business was weak. One evening, Edward spoke softly. "Nancy, our money is less now. We must spend carefully. We must live simple." Nancy's face changed. She said, "I cannot live like that. I want the same life as before. I need money. I need comfort." Edward held her hand. His eyes were wet. "Nancy, money is not everything. Love is. Stay with me. You will make me happy if you stand with me." Nancy pulled her hand back. Her voice was cold. "I cannot. I want more. If you cannot give it, then I cannot stay." Edward felt his heart break. He whispered, "I was with you in every storm. I was with you when you were sick. I was with you when we lost our baby. Do not leave me now." Nancy's heart was already away. She thought of her rich friend, Watson. He was 70, single, and had money. She told herself, "If I leave Edward, I can live with Watson. I can live rich again." Edward saw the distance in her eyes. He begged again, "Nancy, please. We built our life for 30 years. I may not give you wealth now, but I can give you love." Nancy stood firm. "Edward, I want a divorce." The words cut him deep. He could not believe it. His hands shook. His eyes turned red. He said, "After 30 years, you leave me now?" She looked away. She gave no answer. The next day, Edward brought the papers. His hands were weak. He hoped she would stop. He hoped she would remember love. But Nancy signed quickly. Edward cried. His tears fell on the paper. He said, "Nancy, no one will love you like I do. You will not find another man who gives what I gave." Nancy closed the pen. She said, "I don't need love. I need money. I need comfort." Edward's voice broke. "Nancy, money will not hold you when you are weak. Money will not wipe your tears. Only love does that." Nancy did not reply. She walked away. That night, Edward sat alone. He remembered her smile when he bought her gifts. He remembered her laugh at the dinner table. He remembered her sick body and how he cared for her. Now all of that was gone. He whispered, "I lost her. Not because I stopped loving her, but because I lost money." Nancy told herself, "Edward is finished. My future is with Watson. He is rich. He will give me the life I want." This was the breaking point. A marriage of 30 years ended in silence and pain. Chapter 2. Dreams of Luxury. Nancy had left Edward. She had signed the papers. She had walked out of the home where she lived for 30 years. Her heart was not soft. Her steps were strong. She told herself again and again, "I made the right choice. I cannot live poor. I will not suffer with Edward. My new life will be better. My new life will be with Watson." Edward sat alone that night. He cried until his eyes were dry. He could not sleep. He whispered, "She was my wife. She was my world. How can she leave me now? 30 years, and she walked away for money." He put his head in his hands and sobbed. Nancy spent the next morning preparing herself. She dressed in her best clothes. She wanted Watson to see that she still looked strong. She wanted him to believe she was worthy of his attention. She thought, Watson will give me what Edward cannot. He will give me comfort. He will give me money. He will give me respect again. When Nancy arrived, Watson smiled at her. He said, Nancy, so you are free now. That is good. You can stay with me. We will see the future together. His words made Nancy's heart light. She said softly, Watson, I left Edward because I believe in you. I believe you will give me the life I need. Watson did not answer that directly. He only said, You will not need to worry. I will take care of your expenses. We can think about marriage later. Maybe in 6 months, Nancy grabbed those words. She repeated them in her mind. Maybe in 6 months we will marry. Yes, that is enough. I can wait. 6 months is not long. I will soon be Watson's wife. For the first few weeks, Nancy felt she had made the right choice. Watson gave her money whenever she asked. He paid for her clothes. He paid for her salon visits. He even gave her cash for her personal needs. Nancy smiled again. She said to herself, I was brave. I was wise. I saved my future. Edward was weak. Watson is strong. I made the right move, Nancy started telling her friends. She said proudly, Edward is gone from my life. I am free. I am with Watson now. He understands me. He supports me. He will marry me. Some friends praised her. They said, You chose well, Nancy. You must think of yourself. But others whispered, She left her husband of 30 years. She chose money over love. Nancy ignored those whispers. She said in her heart, They are jealous. They do not know my worth. Edward heard from neighbors that Nancy was living with Watson. He closed his eyes when he heard the news. He said quietly, So it is true. She has chosen him. I must live with my pain. I must carry this alone. He sat in silence. He ate in silence. He lived in silence. Nancy, meanwhile, lived in false pride. She sat with Watson and said, You make me feel alive again. You make me feel safe. Watson smiled, but his smile was not deep. He only said, Yes, yes, don't worry. I will provide one evening, Nancy asked directly. Watson, do you love me? Watson paused. He looked at her and replied, I like you, Nancy. You are a good friend. Love? That is a strong word. Maybe time will decide, Nancy forced a laugh. She said, Yes, time will decide. I can wait. But in her heart she felt a small cut. She thought, Why did he not say yes? Why does he only call me a friend? Still, she held on to his promise of 6 months. She told herself, He will change. He will see my value. He will marry me. At night, Nancy sometimes thought of Edward. She remembered his words when she signed the papers. Nancy, no one will love you like I do. His broken voice echoed in her ears. She turned in bed and whispered, He was weak, but he did love me. Watson is rich, but does he love me? She shut her eyes tight and forced the thought away. Edward wrote letters that he never sent. He wrote, Nancy, my love is still with you. Even if you never return, I will remember you till my last day. His tears made the paper wet. He kept the letters in a drawer. Nancy had no idea. She only saw her new life. She showed her friends her new clothes. She told them, "Watson will marry me soon." I am happy. But when she was alone, her heart asked, "Am I really happy?" She pushed the thought away and said aloud, "I will never go back to Edward. I will never live poor." Watson began to show small changes. At first, he picked her calls quickly. Now he sometimes delayed. At first, he gave her money with a smile. Now he gave it with a sigh. Nancy noticed, but she ignored it. She told herself, "This is normal. All men are like this. He is busy. He will come back to me with love." One day, Nancy said, "Watson, you promised me 6 months. Time is moving fast. Do not forget." Watson looked away and said, "Yes, yes. We will talk later." His voice was flat. Nancy felt uneasy. She went to the mirror. She looked at her own face. She said softly, "Why do I feel empty? I got money. I got comfort. But why do I feel something missing?" She closed her eyes and saw Edward's face. He was crying. He was begging. "Stay with me, Nancy. Please stay. I will give you love." She opened her eyes quickly and shouted, "No! I do not need that man. I do not need love. I need wealth." She walked away from the mirror, but her hands were shaking. Edward grew thinner every week. He ate little. His heart was heavy. He whispered to himself, "She may be living in comfort, but does she have peace? I would give her peace if she returned, but she will never return." Nancy lay in Watson's bed, looking at the ceiling. Watson was asleep. She turned to him and whispered, "Do you love me? Will you marry me? Or am I only here for now?" Watson did not hear. He slept deeply. Nancy wiped her own tears in the dark. Her dreams of luxury were strong, but her soul was restless. She had won money, but she had lost peace. She had gained comfort, but she had lost true care. She had left Edward's love for Watson's wealth, and she did not yet know what storm was coming.
Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel, English Through Story.
Chapter 3. Empty Promises. Nancy was now living with Watson. Days turned into weeks. At first, everything felt smooth. He gave her money when she asked. He allowed her to sit close to him. He let her speak about her dreams. She told him, "I feel safe here. I feel alive again. You are my future." Watson only smiled. His words were light. He said, "Nancy, don't worry. I will cover your needs. We will talk about marriage later." Maybe after some time, Nancy held those words in her heart. She told herself, "This is a promise. He will marry me. He only needs time." She wanted to believe it fully. She wanted to erase the memory of Edward's tears. She whispered to herself, "I am lucky. Watson is my new life. Edward was my past." But Watson's tone grew colder as days passed. He still gave her money, but his smile was not the same. He still spoke to her, but his voice was shorter. Nancy asked him one night, "Do you really love me?" He looked at her and said, "I care for you, Nancy. You are my friend. Love is a big word. Let time answer." Her heart sank. She forced a smile and replied, "Yes, time will answer. I can wait." But inside her chest felt heavy. She thought, why does he never say he loves me? Why does he keep distance? Edward lived far from her now, but her thoughts of him had not died. He spent his nights alone. He remembered the touch of her hand when she was sick. He remembered her smile at their wedding day long ago. He whispered into the empty room, "Nancy, you are gone, but my heart still calls your name." Nancy pushed those thoughts away. She sat with Watson at the table. She said to him, "I gave up my marriage for you. I gave up 30 years for you. Please don't make me wait too long." Watson raised his voice slightly. "Nancy, don't press me. I said we will see in 6 months. Until then, stay calm." Her lips trembled. She nodded, but tears formed in her eyes. She turned away so he could not see. She thought, why does he sound angry when I only ask for love? One evening, she called one of her old friends. She told her, "Watson will marry me soon. I only need to wait. He takes care of my expenses. He is good to me." The friend asked softly, "But Nancy, does he love you the way Edward did?" Nancy froze. Her voice shook. Edward had love, yes, but he had no money. Love without money is useless. She hung up quickly, but after the call, her heart felt empty. At night, she lay awake. Watson was asleep. She whispered into the dark, "Edward begged me to stay. He said no one will love me like him. Was he right? Did I make a mistake?" She covered her face with her hands. She said aloud, "No, I did not. I have comfort now. I will soon have marriage. I will soon be secure." But the unease grew stronger. Each day Watson gave her money with less patience. Each week his answers were shorter. He avoided her questions. Nancy felt the change, but she pretended not to. She told herself, he is only tired. He is only busy. He will be fine again. Edward grew weaker in his own house. His body lost weight. His eyes lost shine. Yet his heart was still full of love. He whispered, "If she came back, I would forgive her. I would hold her hand again. I would give her peace." He looked at her picture and cried silently. Nancy still tried to keep her pride. She wore new clothes bought with Watson's money. She told herself, "I am better now. I made the right decision." But in quiet moments, her heart spoke the truth. She felt no deep care from Watson. She felt no real love. She felt only money passing from one hand to another. One day, Nancy told Watson, "I am waiting for you. I hope you keep your word." 6 months is not far now. Watson sighed. He said, "Nancy, do not ask me again. I will decide when I want. If you keep pressing me, I will step away." Her face went pale. She whispered, "Please don't leave me. I gave up everything for you." Watson turned his face and said nothing more. Nancy cried that night alone. She said into the pillow, "Edward's love was real. Watson's promises are empty, but I cannot go back now. I cannot face Edward. I chose this path. I must walk it." Her heart was filled with fear. Her mind was filled with doubt. She had chosen money over love, but money without love was slowly crushing her soul. This was the season of empty promises. She believed in Watson's words, but deep inside, she already knew the truth. His words were not love, only delay. Send super thanks to support us. Read this story and many more on our website bookishenglish.com. Link in the description. Chapter 4. Cracks in the Illusion. Nancy was waiting every day. She was waiting for Watson's love to grow. She was waiting for the marriage he had promised. She counted weeks in her mind. She told herself, "It will happen. He will keep his word. He will make me his wife." But Watson was not the same man she imagined. His voice grew sharp. His answers grew short. When Nancy asked for money, he gave it, but not with joy. He sighed. He said, "Again, Nancy? I just gave you last week." She forced a smile and replied, "Yes, but I need it. You know my habits. You know I like comfort." He handed the money with no warmth. She felt the change, but she said to herself, "He is only tired. He is busy. His heart will soften again." One night, Nancy sat beside him. She said softly, "Watson, you promised me." 6 months, you said. The months are passing. Do you think about us? Do you think about marriage? He looked into her eyes without love. He replied, "Nancy, stop pushing me. I said I will decide in time. Do not ask again." Her lips trembled. She whispered, "I gave up 30 years of marriage for you. I gave up a man who loved me. Do not make me regret." Watson leaned back and said coldly, "That was your choice. I did not ask you to leave him. You came here on your own." Nancy froze. His words cut her. She felt small. She looked away and held back her tears. Edward, far from her, was also sinking. He thought of Nancy every day. He remembered her laugh. He remembered her hand in his. He said aloud, "I cannot erase her from my soul. Even if she betrayed me, my heart still calls her name." He sat alone, holding her old photo, speaking to it like she could hear. Nancy felt the silence in Watson's house. She tried to fill it with her words. She said, "Watson, I will make you happy. I can cook for you. I can care for you. I can be your wife in every way." He turned his face and muttered, "We will see." At night, Nancy lay awake. She whispered to herself, "Why is he cold? Why is he distant? He gives me money, yes, but money feels empty when love is not there. Did I trade love for coins? Did I throw away a man who held me in sickness for a man who only pays my bills?" Her chest hurt. She pressed her hands on her face and cried silently. She remembered Edward's words, "Money will not wipe your tears. Only love does that." She shook her head and said aloud, "No, I cannot think of Edward. I chose this path. I must stay strong," but every day cracks in her dream grew bigger. Watson avoided her eyes. He spoke less. He gave less time. When she tried to hold his hand, he pulled away. She asked, "Do I trouble you? Do you want me here?" He answered flatly, "Stay if you want. Leave if you want. It makes no difference to me." Nancy's heart broke again. She thought, "I left Edward for this. I left 30 years of love for a man who does not even care if I stay or go." Still, she tried to hold on to the illusion. She dressed well. She called friends. She told them, "Watson is good to me. He supports me. He will marry me soon," but her voice had no confidence. Her friends noticed the fear in her tone. Some told her gently, "Nancy, are you sure? Are you safe?" She laughed nervously and changed the subject. When she was alone, she stared at her reflection and asked, "Who am I now? A wife left behind? A woman waiting for empty promises? Did I destroy myself with my own greed?" Edward, meanwhile, prayed at night. He said, "God, keep her safe. Even if she never comes back, do not let her suffer." His love was still alive, even after the betrayal. Nancy closed her eyes one night and whispered, "Edward's love was heavy. Watson's care is light. My heart knows the truth, but my pride will not let me return. I will stay. I will wait. Maybe he will change." But deep inside, she already knew Watson would not change. His promises were cracks in a wall that would soon break. Chapter 5. Betrayed and Thrown Away. Nancy kept waiting. She waited for Watson's promise to become real. She waited for the 6 months he had spoken of. She told herself again and again, "He will not break his word. He will marry me. He will give me a safe life." But Watson's heart had already grown cold. He spoke less each day. He gave her money with irritation. He avoided her eyes. He stayed out late and ignored her questions. Nancy tried to ignore these signs. She forced herself to smile. She whispered, "He is only tired. He is only stressed. He will change soon." One night, she asked softly, "Watson, do you even care for me?" He laughed without feeling. He replied, "Nancy, I told you before, you are a good friend. I enjoy your company. But love? Marriage? That is not what I feel." Her body shook. Her voice broke. "But you promised me. You said 6 months. You said we will marry." Watson raised his voice. "I never promised love. I only said maybe. I said we will see. And now I have seen. I have no interest. I cannot marry you." Nancy's heart stopped. She cried out, "How can you say this? I left my husband for you. I gave up my life for you. Do you understand what you have done to me?" Watson's eyes were hard. He said cruelly, "Do not talk to me about betrayal. You betrayed Edward. You left a man who truly loved you. You came to me only for money. Now you cry about betrayal. You are the betrayer, Nancy, not me." His words crushed her. She fell to her knees. She begged, "Please don't throw me away. Please give me a chance. Please don't leave me like this." Watson stood up, pointed to the door, and shouted, "Get out. Take your things. I don't want you here anymore." Nancy cried loudly, "Where will I go? I have no home. I have no money. Please, Watson, don't do this." He did not listen. He opened the door wide and said, "Leave now, or I will call someone to throw you out." With shaking hands, Nancy picked up her small bag. Her eyes were wet. Her heart was broken into pieces. She whispered, "Edward was right. No one will love me like he did. And I destroyed it." Neighbors saw her standing outside with tears running down her face. Some looked at her with pity. Some looked with judgment. But nobody helped. Nobody spoke a kind word. She felt more alone than ever before. She walked away slowly. Her body was weak. Her heart was empty. She whispered to herself, I had love, I had care, but I threw it away. I chose wealth, and now I have nothing. That night Nancy sat in silence. She had no bed, she had no roof, she had no food. She thought about Edward's voice. Money will not wipe your tears. Only love does that. She held her head in her hands and cried until her eyes had no more tears. For the first time, she admitted the truth. She said softly, Edward was not weak. He was strong, strong with love, and I was blind, blind with greed. I betrayed the only man who truly cared for me. Her stomach hurt with hunger. Her body shook with fear. She whispered, What will happen to me now? Where will I go? Who will help me? But there was no answer, only silence. Watson slept in comfort that night, forgetting her. Edward slept alone, still praying for her safety. And Nancy sat broken, betrayed, and thrown away by the very man she had trusted. Send Super thanks to support us. Read this story and many more on our website bookishenglish.com, link in the description. Chapter 6, The Hard Road Alone. Nancy walked out of Watson's life with nothing in her hands. Her eyes were swollen from tears. Her heart was crushed. She whispered, I trusted him. I trusted his words, and he threw me out like dust. She tried to find a place to stay, but no one opened their doors. She knocked at a friend's house. The friend looked at her and said, Nancy, I cannot help you. I have my own problems. The door closed slowly in her face. Nancy stood there, shaking. She whispered, Even friends leave you when money is gone. Her stomach hurt from hunger. She searched for cheap food, but her pockets were empty. She sat by herself and cried, Edward gave me everything. He gave me food, care, and love. I left him for this. I left him for lies. She tried to sell her jewelry, but the man at the shop cheated her. He gave her a small amount and said, This is all it is worth. Nancy cried, No, it is worth more. These are real. But the man turned away. She realized she was being scammed. She whispered, Everyone sees my weakness. Everyone wants to use me. Her health grew worse. She was 72. Her body was weak. She tried to find small work. She asked at a sewing shop, Please give me some work. I can stitch clothes. I can help. The owner looked at her and said, You are too old. You cannot do fast work. I cannot take you. Nancy walked away, feeling small. She thought, I was once a wife of a rich man. I lived in comfort. Now I beg for work, and no one accepts me. One day, a young man promised to help her. He said, Give me your little savings. I will start a small business with you. You will get profit. Nancy gave him her last money with hope. Weeks passed. He disappeared. She cried, He fooled me. He took the last piece of my life. Her nights were painful. She often had no food. She lay on a thin mat and whispered, Edward, you were right. Money will not wipe tears. I feel every word now, but it is too late. Nancy's body shook with sickness. She had fever and no medicine. She knocked on another neighbor's door. She begged, Please, help me. Please give me some food. The woman said coldly, You chose this life. You left your husband. Why should we help you now? The door closed again. Nancy cried outside, I am paying for my mistake. I am paying every day. She remembered Edward's face when she signed the papers. She remembered his broken voice. Nancy, no one will love you like I do. She pressed her head against her knees and said, Yes, you were right. I see it now. Still, she tried to survive. She washed small clothes for children in one house. She cleaned plates in another. But her body was not strong enough. Her hands hurt, her back bent. She whispered, How long can I do this? I am too weak. People mocked her. One boy shouted at her, Old woman, why are you working here? You look like a beggar. Tears filled her eyes. She said softly, I was once respected. Now I am nothing. She fainted on the street one day. When she woke, strangers had left her there. Nobody cared. She whispered, If I die here, nobody will even know. Her mind went back to Edward again and again. She remembered how he held her when she was ill. She remembered how he brought her food with his own hands. She whispered into the air, Edward, forgive me. I was blind. I was cruel. You gave me love. I gave you betrayal. One evening she saw Watson on the road. She tried to speak. Watson, please help me. Please give me little money. Watson looked away. He said coldly, You are not my problem anymore. Leave me. He walked away without looking back. Nancy stood frozen. She whispered, Even he will not look at me. I am truly alone. Her body grew thinner. Her eyes lost light. But her soul carried regret. She said aloud one night, If I had stayed with Edward, I would still be loved. I would still be cared for. But now I am just a broken woman, walking without purpose. Her struggles grew worse. Winter came. She had no warm clothes. She shivered all night. She whispered, Love would have kept me warm. Money left me cold. She saw people eating food in a hall. She asked, Please give me little. They refused. She turned back and whispered, This is my punishment. This is the price of betrayal. Nancy began to lose hope. She cried for hours, Edward, I know you will never take me back. But I wish I could say sorry. I wish I could tell you that your love was real and I was wrong. Every day was pain. Every night was regret. She carried her body like a heavy stone. She carried her guilt like chains. She whispered, I had love. I had a home. I had care. I threw it all away, and now I have nothing. This is my hard road alone.
Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel, English Through Story.
Chapter 7. Regret and Realization. Nancy's body was weak, and her spirit was broken. She lived each day with hunger and each night with tears. She whispered to herself, I was once a wife. I was once cared for. Now I am a beggar of life. This is what I did to myself. Her mind played the past again and again. She saw Edward's face when he begged her not to leave. She heard his words, Nancy, no one will love you like I do. She shook her head and cried, You were right, Edward. I threw away the only love that was true. One day she sat by herself with nothing in her hands. She said softly, Why did I not listen? Why was I so blind? I wanted money. I wanted comfort. But what did I get? Betrayal, hunger, and shame. Her eyes filled with tears. She pressed her hands on her chest, as if trying to stop the pain. She remembered Watson's words when he pushed her out. You betrayed Edward first. Do not speak of betrayal to me. That sentence burned her heart. She whispered, even the man who fooled me could see my sin. I betrayed the one who loved me the most. Nancy began to feel guilt deeper than hunger. She said aloud, food may fill the stomach, but guilt eats the soul. My soul is empty because I broke Edward's heart. She walked slowly through the streets, but her mind was not on the road. Her mind was in the past. She remembered the days Edward cared for her when she was sick. She remembered the nights he stayed awake for her. She remembered his smile when she was happy. She whispered, and I left him in his darkest hour. What kind of woman does that? Her heart wanted forgiveness, but her pride stopped her. She told herself, I cannot go back. He will never take me back. He will close the door on me. He will say I destroyed everything. Yet another voice in her heart said, Edward still loves you. He prayed for you. He waited for you. You can still try. Nancy cried out loud, but how can I face him? How can I look into his eyes after what I did? She covered her face and sobbed like a child. At night, she spoke to the stars as if Edward could hear her. Edward, I am sorry. I am sorry for every word I spoke. I am sorry for every tear you cried. I see your value now. I see your love now. I see my sin now. Her days were long and her nights were cruel. She tried to earn a little by doing small jobs, but her body failed. She fell often. People looked at her with pity, but no one gave her deep care. She whispered, Edward would have never let me fall. He would have carried me. He would have lifted me. She thought of Watson too, but not with hope. She thought of him with pain. She said, Watson took my body, used my time, and left me with nothing. But I am the one who gave him the chance. I ran to him, and he destroyed me. But I destroyed myself first when I left Edward. Her mind grew heavier every day. She said aloud, I cannot live like this. I cannot die like this. I need to ask for forgiveness. I need to ask Edward to forgive me before my last breath. One morning, Nancy stood with weak legs. She whispered, Today I will try. I will go to him. If he closes the door, I will accept it. But I must try. I cannot carry this guilt until death. Her eyes were wet, and her voice was soft. Edward, you may not want me. You may hate me. But please let me say sorry. Please let me tell you I was wrong. She walked with trembling steps. Every step felt like a stone. She prayed in her heart, God, give me strength. Let me see his face once more. Let me speak my heart once more. Her mind was filled with pictures of him, his smile, his tears, his soft words, his broken face when she left. She cried while walking. She whispered, Edward, wait for me. I am coming. I am late, but I am coming. This was the stage of regret and realization. Nancy had lost her wealth, her pride, and her health, but she had found the truth. She realized money is weak. She realized betrayal destroys. She realized love is the only treasure that remains. Send super thanks to support us. Read this story and many more on our website, bookishenglish.com, link in the description. Chapter 8. Love Beyond Riches. Nancy's body was tired, but her heart pushed her forward. She had cried enough tears. She had carried enough pain. Now she wanted only one thing: to see Edward again. She whispered as she walked, "I may be late. I may be broken, but I must try. I must ask for forgiveness before my last day." Her legs trembled. Every step was slow, but her heart was louder than her weakness. She said, "Edward, you told me no one would love me like you. You were right. I see it now. Please, let me tell you that you were right." Finally, she stood outside the door of Edward's house. Her hands shook. She raised them to knock. She paused. Fear filled her mind. She thought, what if he does not open? What if he closes the door on me? What if he says I am nothing to him now? Her tears fell. She whispered, "I deserve it if he rejects me. But I cannot die without trying." She knocked softly. The door opened. Edward stood there. His hair was gray, his eyes were tired, but his heart was still alive. He looked at Nancy. For a moment, he did not move. Then his eyes filled with tears. Nancy's voice broke. "Edward, it is me. I am sorry. I was wrong. I left you when you needed me most. I betrayed your love. I destroyed our marriage. I destroyed you. Forgive me if you can. If you cannot, I will go away. But I had to come. I had to say sorry." Edward's lips trembled. He whispered, "Nancy, after all this time, you still came back?" Nancy fell to her knees. She cried loudly, "I lost everything. Watson used me. Friends rejected me. People cheated me. I have no money, no home, no respect. But the worst loss was you. The worst pain was losing your love. I came back with nothing, but I came back with truth. I know now that love is all that matters." Edward's tears fell. He bent down and lifted her gently. He said softly, "I told you before. My love was real. My love was strong. And it never died, Nancy. Even when you left me, my heart still prayed for you. Even when you betrayed me, I still wished for your safety." Nancy covered her face and cried harder. "How can you forgive me? How can you still love me after what I did?" Edward held her hand. He whispered, "Because love is not a business. Love is not a deal. Love is sacrifice. Love is patient. Love remembers the good, not the betrayal. I never stopped loving you. My pain was deep, but my love was deeper." Nancy placed her head on his chest and cried like a child. She said, "If you take me back, I will never leave again. I will live with you in simple life. I will not ask for wealth. I will not ask for gold. I will only ask for your hand." Edward smiled through tears. "Then stand with me now. We may be old, but our hearts are still alive. We may not have riches, but we have each other. Let us marry again. Let us live again. Let us end our days together, not apart." Nancy nodded again and again. She whispered, "Yes, Edward. Yes. This time I understand. This time I will not make the same mistake." They held each other for a long time. Their wrinkles showed age, but their tears showed love. Their hearts beat together after years of distance. Edward whispered, "We lost years, Nancy, but we still have today. And today is enough." Nancy replied softly, "Yes, Edward. Today is enough. Love is enough." And so they began again, not with wealth, not with luxury, but with something greater, love beyond riches.
Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel, English Through Story.